Hello YouTube, Robert1 here, coming at you with the obvious hand testing video that was on the way. As we all know, I will do hand testing videos with deck profiles as many times as I do real deck profiles, as long as I think they need a hand testing video. That is, like if it's a deck like Altergeist, I'm never going to do a hand testing video for that. But we are back with another hand testing video, and in today's hand testing video, we're going to be doing some more Adamancipator hand tests, specifically with the deck that I played the other day that incorporates Dragoon of Red Eyes, to kind of show what I kind of meant, that sometimes if you do draw the Red Eyes or the Dark Magician or the Red Eyes Fusion, you kind of just want it to be something else, and it just kind of sucks. But also to kind of show you guys some of the combos, so you guys can get an idea of what combos are in this deck, because obviously I know you've probably seen them 100,000 billion times, but it still makes sense to me to show off a few combos. So we're going to go with the first test hand here. Hopefully it will be a good test hand, and you guys can see like a full combo board where we make like Appaloosa, Dragoon, Savage, all of that good stuff, and or it's going to be an absolute garbage board. So we open up with Cookie Mirror Guardian, Block Dragon, Cypher Gamma, and Block... You see what I meant in the other day's video, where sometimes you can just open absolute garbage? Yeah, this is what I meant. Like, you opened the two Gammas, so you can't even normal summon the Cookie Mirror Guardian. Like, you can reveal the Block Dragon, have it as a tribute, and then after you've used this, they use that, then you just do this. But outside of that, the hand is just absolute trash, and now it's playable because you do that. But even if even if it is playable, your opponent could always Ash Blossom you, which is just really weak. But yeah, first test hand was a bust. Oh wait, like we gotta get the juices up. Right? We gotta get all the bad hands out before we get good hands, and that's normally how Yu-Gi-Oh works. Am I right? Sometimes you get a load of bad hands, sometimes you get a load of good hands. It just comes down to that. But there are very few hands in this deck that should be just absolutely dead, and that's why it's kind of upsetting when I do see one like that. But yeah, next hand, let's hope this one isn't garbage. So we start with Foolish Barrel, that's pretty good. Cookie Mirror Guardian again. Seeker, that's good. Gamma, and Block Dragon. So this hand is technically playable. It does have its weakness, of course, like if the Seeker does get ashed or impermed, you can't really do much, because obviously if you do summon this, then you can't even send a rock to the graveyard for the Block Dragon. But nonetheless, we'll see what we can excavate off the Seeker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see what I'm saying, YouTube, where this could have been a rock, this can't be summoned, so we only need to play 2, and it's just like you're playing more bricks, and that's kind of what happens in rocks. So that's just another failed hand. I'm not going to lie to you guys, we can't do anything with that, so we'll go ahead and try and do another hand that hopefully will be good. Hopefully will be good. I want to see a good hand. Like the first two hands was like, oh, we unplayable, oh, we just didn't excavate any rock cards, like stuff that you shouldn't really be seeing in Adamancipator ever, because like the amount of we're playing 9 summonable rocks, I believe. We're summoning 8. We play 8 summonable rocks, along with a couple bricks. So yeah, I would rather those bricks be rocks. But we start with Doki Doki, Block Dragon again, E-Tele, Seeker, and okay, so this is a good Adamancipator hand. So obviously we're going to play this hand out just to show you guys what we can do with it. So we start off by activating the effect of Tenya Adhara, obviously, special summoning it to the board. Then we'll go ahead and activate E-Emergency Teleport, because this is going to go ahead and summon from our deck a Cyframe Gamma, which is going to be absolutely useless. Now, the reason we did this was because we still don't need to waste our normal summon yet, and wasting our normal summon isn't really something we should be doing. Like, I could have summoned the Research to get an additional summon, but I would rather go this route just because it means we don't waste our normal summon, we keep all of our good resources in our hand, and we waste the cards in our deck that don't really do much else for us. So, we're going to turn these two, obviously, into a Crystron Halki Fibrax. Crystron Halki Fibrax using its effect to go ahead and special summon a tuner from the deck. This tuner is obviously going to be the standard tuner, which is Oh wow, it's on top of the deck. Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line, because O-Line is obviously just the best tuner in the deck, being that it just gives you an additional token, and with Crystal, well, it's the best tuner in the deck because of Crystal Hacky Fabrics, but outside of that, it's this is probably better. But yeah, just being one of the better ones, just so you can get those free summons out of all of it. So we're going to go ahead and link that off and summon out the obvious Link Ross to the board, and then Link Ross's effect will trigger, and you're only going to summon one token here. And the reason you only summon one is because you don't want to... You want to be able to make the Risen Raptite. That's like the goal of this. Now, obviously, we can summon two as well, and you know what? Looking at this hand, and what our opponent could potentially have, you know what? We actually do make two tokens this time. And it's very rare that I say I make two tokens. So we'll make two tokens. And then we're going to go ahead and synchro a token and the O-Lion into our Metal Marcher. Then we're going to trigger our Metal Marcher as Chain Link 1 and our O-Lion as Chain Link 2. So O-Lion is going to be summoned from the graveyard, and then it's going to also summon another level 3 token to our board. So we've got a level 3 and a level 1. We're then going to go ahead and synchro the level 1 token and the Metal Marcher to go ahead and summon the Herald of Arclight, giving us just one negate now. So we have one negate for a potential Nibiru or anything along those lines, allowing us to basically play around anything our opponent could have. So now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and... Now this is a debate, because what I could do is I can always just go and link these away into something else, but I think the correct play here is to summon out the Doki Doki here, and then trigger the Doki Doki's effect to discard Adamancipator Researcher. And then Researcher is going to go ahead and summon out from the deck an Adamancipator Seeker. And now you're probably thinking, why are you doing this? Why not just special summon the Researcher? Well, one, it gives us an additional rock for Block Dragon. It gives us the additional Earth monster that we need to be able to utilize Block Dragon. And also the Researcher is actually banished because of Herald of the Arclight, so I completely forgot about that. But nonetheless, it gets us to that. Now what we can do, though, because we've summoned out the Seeker from the deck, is we can go ahead and actually link off the Doki Doki and the Link Ross. They both go to graveyard, that is not a token. And we go ahead and make the Asua from the extra deck. Asua just being really nice because it's an Earth monster plus it's any other monster. Then we're going to go ahead and use the Seeker effect to excavate the top 5 cards of our deck. We'll go ahead and give it a quick shuffle though, now I think about it, because I don't think I gave it a proper shuffle. So we'll go ahead and give it a quick shuffle to make sure it's all shuffled up. And then we're going to go ahead and use the Seeker to go ahead and excavate 5. Oh, we got a Doki Doki again. So, now that we've got this, and we actually excavated a gate blocker, we're just going to go ahead and summon the gate blocker from our deck, and then we're going to go ahead and put all of these to the bottom of the deck, like so. So we currently still have the level 3 token, we now have a gate blocker, and we also have everything else on our board. Now, what I'm thinking I'm going to do now, because this is actually a very different route from what I would normally take, is we're going to go ahead and link off the token, I believe. Well, let me just make sure, because of Appaloosa's conditions. No, except tokens, so I can't do that. So we're going to go ahead and use this, the O-Lion, and the Seeker, to go ahead and summon out from our extra deck an Appaloosa with 3 negates. So currently we've got 3 negate Appaloosa. Now, we go ahead and banish 3 from our graveyard. So 1, 2, and 3 Earth monsters. Special summoning out the Block Dragon to our board. We're then going to go ahead and link away the Block Dragon and the token into a Verte Anaconda. Now the Block Dragon's going to trigger, and we're going to go ahead and special out from our deck, we'll search from our deck a Researcher, a Gigantes, and also a Seeker, wherever he may be. There he is. So we currently got these on the board. Now we're going to go ahead and do those. We're going to go ahead and use the effect of Researcher to special summon herself from the hand. And we're going to then go ahead and use her effect, just making sure the deck is properly shuffled. And our opponent is currently unable to, from what our board is currently is, our opponent is unable to target Researcher with an imperm. They are unable to use any monster effects thanks to Appaloosa, and they cannot even send cards to the graveyard, such as Ghost Dodo, to be able to deal with it. So we've currently got a very decent board. So we're going to go ahead and activate this Researcher's effect to excavate 5 cards. And we're actually going to summon out the Quackimero Supplier, because then the Quackimero Supplier will just go ahead and add this Quackimero Guardian to our hand, deck thinning us out a bit. So we've got to give it a shuffle instead of just putting them all to the bottom this time. Okay. Now that we've kind of got this on board, we've got this kind of board right now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go and synchro these two together. So we synchro these, and we're going to go ahead and summon out our Risen Raptide. And we're going to go ahead and use Raptide's effect now to excavate the top 5. And we hit the Adamancipator Seeker, so we'll summon him in defense. And then we're going to go ahead and link the Seeker and the Raptide together to go ahead and make Boral Savage Dragon. We're going to then use the Boral Savage, which is going to go ahead and equip a sick tuner monster, link monster from my extra deck, so we've now got 2 negates on this for 2 different turns. And then finally, the last play we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate the Vertiate Anaconda that cannot be impermed, sending to graveyard. Well, first we'll just get these out of the deck because for some reason they're together. Our Red Eyes Fusion to the graveyard and our Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon to go ahead and special summon from the extra deck Red Eyes Dragoon. So this is the end board we actually managed to make. We made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negates. Our opponent cannot place counters on the board, their field spells are negated, and they cannot target any of our monsters, and we've just made an actual really insane board. Now, this board could have been slightly different as well. We could have always gone ahead and used the Gate Blocker and a Block Dragon in our graveyard to make an IP Masquerena as well, but sometimes I just prefer to keep the Gate Blocker on board because it just means they can't target me, they can't interact with me, which is just really nice because it just stops them from being able to play the game. But if you do have that personal preference, you could have just literally banished free from the graveyard, summoned back the Block Dragon to the board, and then linked these two into an IP Masquerena. But I just personally like this because they can't target me, they basically are locked out of every kind of effect. Like, we got free Omni negates, free monster negates, and they can't target me and their field spells and stuff are negated. So it's just a really nice board, I think, and is definitely strong. But that's the at first real test hand we've had outside of the 2 bricks we got. Let's actually go ahead and put this all back and try for one more test hand, and then that'll probably be the video because the combo for Adamancipator can be very long, and it does have a lot of different routes, this deck, surprisingly. And obviously this whole hand could have been stopped by not really anything, actually, because we went ahead and special summoned a tuner we went ahead and started with Tenyi Adhara and then special summoned Gamma from the deck. So we pretty much had access to this whole thing even without our normal summon. And even if they did have like an imperm or something too early in like the Crystal Halki Fibrax, we could still technically go further because of we had the Doki Doki and the Adamancipator Researcher in our hand. So, and also the Block Dragon, which really does help as well. But yeah, so that's everything we did with the first real test hand. Let's go ahead and put these back into the extra deck, give this deck a good shuffle, making sure it's all randomized and not going to be together. And we'll go ahead and do another test hand. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up. And we will go. So, starting off with Cypherium Gamma, Pudison, Block Dragon, Seeker, and a Supplier. Okay, so this hand is pretty good, I think. I think this hand is pretty good. So what we're going to basically do with this hand is we're going to start off by special summoning our Pudison from the hand, and then we're going to go ahead and normal summon our Seeker. Now, we still have the special summon for Seeker later in the turn, so that's still kind of nice, but this is what we're going to do for now because we don't really have any other routes. Now, we're going to go ahead and activate the Seeker's effect, which will allow us to excavate 5 from the top of our deck. Well, we're going to take the Guardian, aren't we? But we'll see what else we can potentially get. And we're going to go ahead and special summon out the Kokimero Guardian, which is going to protect us from all of our opponent's hand traps except for an Infinite Impermanence. We're then going to go ahead and link these two, making out the Crystron Hauki Fibrax again, because Hauki Fibrax is the one you normally start with. So we summon out the Crystron Hauki Fibrax, and then we're going to trigger the Hauki Fibrax, which is going to go ahead and summon out the Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion. So we summon the O-Lion from the deck, and then we go ahead and link off the Crystal Hauki Fibrax, which is going to go ahead and summon out a Linkross. And then Linkross will trigger, which is going to go ahead and summon one tuner this time, because we've got the Guardian, we don't need to summon out multiple. And we're going to go ahead and synchro these two to summon out our obvious, where are you, Metal Marcher? There you are. Summon out our Metal Marcher. Then Metal Marcher chaining 1, O-Lion chaining 2, so we go ahead and summon back the level 3 token, and we go ahead and summon out a Seeker. The reason we're summoning out Seeker is because we've got the Supplier in hand, so we can special summon it when it's sent to Graveyard now. So, we go ahead and synchro these two together, summoning out our Adamancipator Risen Raptite, and the Raptite's effect is now a tuner. The Raptite is now a tuner, so we do need a level 2 to actually use it if we want to go even further. So that is a thing. But we're now going to go ahead and use the Raptite's effect, which is going to go ahead and excavate the top 5, but I'm going to give it another shuffle just to be safe, because obviously after the O-Lion, I'm not sure if I'm actually shuffling. It's just a precaution just in case. I probably am shuffling, but it's just like, head, make sure you do it. So we go ahead and excavate the top 5 cards, and we get a Researcher. So we go ahead and obviously summon out the Researcher from our deck onto the field. So we now have this kind of board. We're going to go ahead and use the Researcher's effect now, though, excavating the top 5 cards of our deck. And we did whiff it, so we don't have anything we can actually summon, but it's fine, we don't need to summon anything here anyway. So these cards go back into the deck, and we're going to actually start going a little bit further now. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and, we've got no Earths in our graveyard, we're going to go ahead and this is a debate now. Now what I can do here is, I've used both the Seeker and I've used the Researcher already, so that's kind of locked out to us. We can't really do anything with that. But what I can do is I can turn the Raptite, the Researcher, and the Seeker and the Linkross into an Appaloosa, and then we can summon out the Supplier, getting us another Kokimero Guardian to our hand. So I think that might be the route I want to go, and I think I will go that route. So we're going to go ahead and link off all of these together to go ahead and special summon out an Appaloosa. So we'll summon out the Appaloosa, and then we're going to go ahead and use the Kokimero Supplier's effect to special summon it, and then use its effect to go ahead and search us from the deck I'm going to go ahead and search from the deck, obviously, the Kokimero Guardian. What am I thinking? So we'll summon the Kokimero Guardian, search the Kokimero Guardian from the deck, adding that to hand, and then we're going to go ahead and summon out the Block Dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and banish 1, 2, 3 cards from our graveyard, and special summon out the Block Dragon. We're then going to go ahead and use the Block Dragon, and you know what, actually, no. Because we've got the Appaloosa on 4 negates, we're going to go ahead and actually overlay the Kokimero Supplier and the Guardian to summon out a Gallant Granite. We're then going to go ahead and use the Gallant Granite's effect to search us out a Rock Monster, and the Rock Monster we're going to search will be a Researcher. Because we've already got the Block Dragon, the Researcher is just a nice add. So we'll go ahead and add that. We're then going to go ahead and link the Block Dragon and the Gallant Granite together now. And we're going to go ahead and summon out our Verte Anaconda. We're then going to go ahead and use the effect of Block Dragon again to banish 3 Earth monsters. To special summon it back, and I just realized I didn't actually use the Block Dragon's effect to special search free from the deck, but it's fine because we'll use it now. Because we're going to go ahead and special summon the Seeker, and we're going to link these two into a IP Masquerader. And now we go ahead and trigger our Block Dragon like we should have done before, which is going to go ahead and grab from our deck a Seeker, another Researcher, and a Gigantes. So obviously we're not on the best board we could have potentially made, I think. We could have probably done something a little different here and there, but we have gotten pretty far. So now that we've done all of this, we're going to actually just banish some Earths from our hand and our board and our graveyard. So we're just going to banish the Researcher, the Gigantes, and the Corky Mirror Guardian from our hand. And we're just going to go ahead and special summon back the Block Dragon from our graveyard, in defense mode, obviously. And then we're going to go ahead and trigger the Verte Anaconda to go ahead and send from our deck to the graveyard the Red Eyes, the Dark Magician, and the Red Eyes Fusion, which is going to go ahead and summon out the Dragoon of Red Eye. That's not a Dragoon of Red Eyes. The Dragoon of Red Eyes from our extra deck to the board. So pretty much our end board is 4 Negate Appaloosa, Nightmare Unicorn on our opponent's turn, which will most likely use the Verte Anaconda just because we can, get around little things here and there with it, and because the Block Dragon will probably lead the board at some point anyway. A Dragoons that can negate anything and get a lot bigger, and we have a Researcher and a Seeker for the following turn. So this is a very good board. I wouldn't say it's the best board we could make, because normally I would also have like a Boral Savage or something along with this kind of board, but because we didn't actually get to summon out an Analyzer, it's very hard to get to that board. Plus we didn't get to a Doki Doki summon, which kind of stopped me from that as well. But nonetheless, this is the deck, guys. This is the hand tests and some of the combos that you can actually do. Obviously, as I showed in this video, this deck does kind of take a lot of thinking at times. It's a really good deck. It really does have a lot of complex routes it can go down. It's a very big combo deck that kind of just stops your opponent from playing the game. And obviously, as I also showed in the first 2 hands we actually got, this deck can just have really unplayable hands at times as well, which is why I'm kind of like debating cutting the Gammas, cutting the Red Eyes Dragoon, and maybe just going for something else, because I feel like it might be necessary to change that up a bit. But nonetheless, this is a very good deck. I hope you enjoyed the hand testing and the combos, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Rollback1, signing out. I'll see you later all. Bye!